Pan, 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 pan. All stations, all stations, all stations. This is sailing not Rúna, Rúna, Rúna.
Rúna, we are trying to mobilize a rescue boat that is in La Sabina, but they are... situation that you are seeing in the rocks.
We're picking things up in Denia Marina in eastern Spain as we prepare to leave on a 12-hour passage to our next destination. In our last video, our sails came off the boat to be repaired under warranty as they were ripped. However, as they were put back onto the boat, we noticed that they haven't been repaired very well, as the fabric was still pinching and it was far too tight along the battens.
But as we were preparing the boat to leave at 7 AM tomorrow morning, there wasn't much we could do and the sails would have to wait. The next morning, we got up early and left Denia Marina, ready to set course to a place we're both very excited to visit.
Where are we going, Ruth?
We're going to Ibiza! Let's get the waypoint in. Woo-hoo!
This is my first visit to Ibiza. Ruth's been a couple times before. This is my first time and I'm excited. We have just left Denia Marina. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and we have about 60 nautical miles between us and Ibiza. Our only problem is, as per usual in the Med, there's no wind. So we are motoring for the next couple of hours and hopefully, fingers crossed, the forecast says we should get a little bit of wind the next couple of hours around lunchtime. So we'll see what happens, but it's okay, nothing's going to dampen our spirits because we're going to have an epic couple of days in Ibiza. And for most of the morning, the seas were calm and we continued to motor. And whilst the forecasted wind did come to give us a little push towards our destination, it wasn't quite enough to help us make any meaningful progress.
Okay, so that's our first 5 nautical miles done. We've got another 55 to go. We set off in really calm winds with hardly anything, but we've managed to get our sails up. The winds are coming across our beam. We've got about 10, 11 knots, so not huge winds, but enough to get us going. And hopefully for the next few hours, as forecasted, we should have a few hours of good sailing.
Okay, quick update on our Ibiza passage. The wind, Ruth got very excited about the wind this morning. It lasted all of, I don't know, 30 seconds. As soon as we raised the sails, we had about 10, 12 knots. It dissipated, left us, and we are motoring. We have 38 nautical miles to go. Our arrival is 7 PM, so we left at 7 AM, so it's still on for a 12-hour passage. The one positive is, so whilst we're motoring, we do have the sails up, but they're not doing very much. One positive is the sea is very, very calm. There's virtually no swell, so it's a very comfy little cruise for us, which is lovely. Ruth's chilling on front, reading a book. I'm using the opportunity to get some work done before we can go partying and enjoy ourselves in Ibiza.
I'm reading a very apt book about 2 people who got stranded at sea in the Pacific Ocean and they're currently on month 3 of living in a life raft.
So when we were in Denia Marina, we docked stern to, so we dropped fenders off of our davits just to protect our dinghy from rubbing against the marina sidewall. And we forgot to take them in as we left this morning. So they're just hanging there as we do a 12-hour passage. They're tied on pretty secure, so we should be okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Land ho! We see land. finally. It's been about 10 and a half, 11 hours. No wind most of the whole way here, unfortunately. But we finally have some land.
And that land was pretty impressive. This is Esvedra, a small rocky island on the southwest tip of Ibiza, renowned for people gathering to watch beautiful sunsets.
So you'll see behind me that we are finally making some progress. After 12 hours of motoring, we are arriving into Ibiza, and what a welcome. It is beautiful. And rather annoyingly, that's the wind picking up, but it is basically head to wind right now. We have got 15 knots on the nose. We've had to motor sail the whole way here, which is frustrating and annoying. This is one of our longest passages since the Bay of Biscay, about 2 months ago now. But just one of these things. We sat in Denia waiting for a break in the weather. We sat there for 4 days looking at a good time to go. Today was our only real option. We had a bit of wind on the beam that we could have got there, but unfortunately this morning the weather changed and we've had a bit of wind on the nose. But we're arriving in. It's time to get splashed in the face from a wave. Swells build up a little bit, but we're arriving in. It's looking beautiful. I'm excited to drop anchor.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As we closed in on Ibiza, we started negotiating the endless super yachts traffic. But soon after, we arrived on our mooring buoy, tied on, and headed to bed after a long day sailing.
And on Saturday, we party. We met some friends on land and headed to the famous Blue Marlin for food, wine, and a bit of dancing. Okay, we've picked up some friends in Ibiza. We've just left Ibiza for a couple of days. We picked up some friends and we have just left Ibiza. We had a quick 24-hour stop. Had a night out last night, which was great fun. And now we're heading across to Formentera. We've got an anchor buoy booked and the wind is awesome. After 12 hours of motor sailing the other day, we have 15 knots of wind. We're doing 7.5, 8 knots at the moment. So this trip is about an hour across Formentera. We're absolutely flying. We're racing some unsuspecting other catamarans and monohulls, trying to beat them. But yeah, great day for sailing, and I'm excited to see Formentera. I have heard so many awesome things about it. And with everyone on board, we had a fast sail across the Formentera, with the goal of trying to be the fastest sailing yacht on the water. Sails were up, trimmed, and we were picking up speed. We very quickly arrived into our anchorage, and oh my goodness, what an anchorage!
And with water this beautiful, it was time to go for a swim.
We are officially in Formentera. We had the best sailing ever. It's a very quick trip, about an hour from Ibiza to Formentera. We did it in about 45 minutes. We were flying along about 8 knots. The wind was amazing all day. We've arrived into the anchorage and it is busy. There's a lot of boats, everything from monohulls to catamarans to super yachts. We've slotted in a nice little space, dropped anchor, and we've gone for a swim. It is cold. The water is cold. It's the coldest water we've had since Gibraltar, which is strange. Ibiza water was lovely. It was like a bath. Here it's cold. There's a bit of a nip to it. But it's lunchtime, so the girls have just headed, they've been picked up in a water taxi and they've gone to a restaurant to pick up lunch. Now we're having a paella whatever you want to call it, paella. And it's probably the world's most expensive paella. It is €200 for us to have a paella. So the girls are going to go pick it up, bring it back to the boat, and we're going to have some lunch. And I'm excited to see what a €200 paella looks like.
Thank you.
Let's see what a €200 paella looks like.
Oh, they've got a spoon. Look at it. Awesome.
That's good.
Smells delicious.
Is it worth €200?
Hope so. I'll tell you when we smell it. Yeah.
For €200, I was expecting gold encrusted prawns, but the overall verdict was good. And with full bellies, it was time for a quick siesta before we moved to the next stop on the island.
When we're going ashore for longer periods, especially in stronger winds, we do typically prefer to be on a mooring buoy, just so we don't have to worry about our anchor dragging. So we headed to Calo de Soli, just on the other side of the bay. And this is where things started to go south.
What should have been a very simple routine arrival was made difficult as the member of staff that met us to take our lines lost control of our tender and got our ropes caught in her outboard propeller. But finally, we got tied on and we thought it was time to relax. Guys, we need to go. Ruth, we need to go. This mooring buoy, his mooring buoy's failed. His mooring. Ruth, let's go in the tender.
And we couldn't believe what we saw. A neighbour's mooring buoy had snapped and they were drifting towards the coastal rocks. Andrew and I jumped into our tender as quickly as we could to alert anyone sleeping on board.
We banged on the side of the hull, we screamed, we shouted and whistled as loud as we could to try and wake the owners. But it soon became obvious that there was no one on board.
As we circled the yacht, we got a closer look at the mooring buoy and there was a clean cut straight through the line.
I grabbed the boat's lines to try and drag it to safety. All we had to do was get tied onto another mooring buoy, but our little tender didn't have enough power, and the yacht continued to drift towards the rocks.
Pan, 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 pan. All stations, all stations, all stations. This is sailing yacht Rúna, Rúna, Rúna.
Rúna, we are trying to mobilize a rescue boat that is in La Sabina, but they are voluntary people and they will have to recruit. And I have to ask you, please stand by in the position to have our own commander to you.
Okay, copy. Thank you. Over.
Thank you to you, sir.
Oh, I'm not really too sure what to say. We're in Formentera. We've come to a mooring buoy we tied up last night, and there's a field of 20-30 mooring buoys, and we came in last night. The weather was starting to get quite bad. The wind was picking up sort of 25-30 knots, and we thought a mooring buoy would probably be the safest option for us, especially we're going to be off the boat because we wanted to go for drinks and things. We came back last night and the wind was strong. I got up multiple times throughout the night just to check the lines and to make sure we were okay. Woke up this morning and at the corner of my eye we just see a boat drifting towards the beach and towards the cliffs. It's about a 40-foot monohull. Ruth and I jumped to the tender. We tried to go and wake somebody up, see if somebody was on the boat. We were banging on the side of the hull. We were whistling, we were shouting. Nobody's there, nobody's on the boat. We tried to drag the boat ourselves. We tried to grab a line, but we're in a little dinghy with a 15 horsepower engine, and we're trying to pull a 4 or 5 ton yacht. I think its keel had already caught on the ground as well, so it just wasn't going anywhere. And you've got to be really careful that we don't put ourselves in danger. So we were really careful not to go windward and just tried to do something, but we just couldn't do anything in the end. And it's absolutely heart-wrenching seeing somebody else's boat just get smashed up into the beach, into the cliffs. and just watching it and not being able to help. We called the pan as soon as we could. We tried calling the people who run the mooring buoy field. Everybody, all the staff in the mooring buoy field, nowhere to be seen, didn't answer, weren't answering radios, weren't answering the phone. We did a pan, we got the Coast Guard. 30 minutes later, the Coast Guard still aren't here, nobody's coming to help. And in the meantime, we're a bit stranded, we're kind of stuck just watching this poor boat. I feel sick for the owner. It looks like a fairly new boat. He came in, he arrived at similar time to us last night. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. I don't really feel comfortable staying on these mooring buoys, just knowing that one's just snapped. They're obviously not maintained, they're obviously not looked after, so we need to decide what we want to do.
And finally, after almost 45 minutes, reinforcements came to try and pull the yacht to safety. The rescue continued for half an hour as they tried to pull the yacht and its keel free from the rocks. But, to everyone's relief, the boat was finally pulled free and we were stood down by the Coast Guard.
Bueno, it's not necessary that you stay in the position now. Thank you very much for your cooperation and you can proceed.
With the boat's owner nowhere to be seen, it was pulled back into deeper water and finally tied up to another mooring buoy, and the hull was assessed for damage.
Given what we'd just witnessed, along with the issues with our line on arrival, I jumped in to inspect our buoy myself. And whilst our buoy looked okay, we still didn't feel comfortable staying, so we decided we'd be better on anchor and made the decision to leave.
I'm so glad we made the decision to move, because this is where we ended up anchoring. And even in this paradise, there's still a stark reminder that yachts can run aground despite anyone's best intentions. And if mooring buoys haven't been maintained or inspected correctly, disaster can strike very, very quickly.